Alright, I wanted to show you how I slow cook chicken to make chicken bone broth and really yummy, saturated, lovely chicken meat. And so here is here's the slow cooker I use. And when I make it, I do a couple of things. First, I put the entire chicken. I buy the whole chicken because it's cheapest, and I put it in there. Plus, I get all the good parts, the bone and the breast and the legs and the neck sometimes. And I put in some of my seaweed. Now, this is seaweed that I have cooked up as on the stove for about 30 minutes. And it's got seaweed chunks in it and broth, super nutrient-rich broth. This is what the seaweed looked like when we started. There's all different kinds that I get from the Seaweed Man, aka Large Hansen, up in Steuben, Maine. And his website's theseaweedman.com. You should really check it out. And so I put everything into my little slow cooker, and then I turn it on to low. You can see right here, there's a setting for low that I just turn on, put that on just before I go to bed. And that's all I really need to do. It sits and cooks for probably, it's been going for maybe, actually about 12 hours now, so that's probably long enough. You don't want to go too long with it. Generally 12 hours is probably good. You can just keep it simple like that. And you don't need a really huge cooker either. In fact, what you can do is you make the broth. As you can see, there's meat in there that's begun to fall apart and come off, and there's the broth in there too, and that's super nutrient dense, so you can simply add water when you want to eat more of it, and just keep it in the fridge and just dilute it, because if you eat it really dense, it can be a little overwhelming to the system and cause these Herxheimer or die-off reactions, especially when you're trying to heal your gut. You have to remember, like the gut itself, when it's really sensitive, especially from antibiotic use, you can't just go in there and drill it hard. I tried that many times and really fell apart a lot. But if you just take it one step at a time, have a little bit of the good stuff every day, you get to where you're going. So after this, I put it into big ball jars like this, and I put them in the fridge or put them in the freezer, and sometimes they break when they're trying to cool. When they get cold in the freezer, and if that happens, I'm like, oh well. I keep the top a little loose until it freezes, then tighten it down, but sometimes they still break, and so I stick them into a bag or just put them in, keep them in the freezer until I'm ready to use them, and then I just put them in the hot water, and the glass, just kind of comes off in chunks, and just be careful. Don't eat the glass, but usually it comes off in big pieces, so it's not a problem. Anyhow, that's it for this video, and I hope you enjoy future bone broth making.